And I think that what's important, one point kind of before I move on into a little bit more about this, but what's really important is a lot of these online debates. This is a point that I made in a clip that went, I guess, a little bit viral like a year ago, I think, is for a lot of these Orthodox apologists, and Catholics do the same, Protestants do the same. It's kind of a thing that a vice that a lot of apologists fall into is their whole idea of what we should do in apologetics is if I can somehow, through a sort of hyper skepticism and lack of intellectual clarity and consistency and charity towards your position, if I can show that, if I can sow some doubt, I guess might be the best way, into the hearers of your position, then that almost de facto proves my own position. So if I can refute you, then I win. So if Catholicism is wrong, Orthodoxy is right. If Protestantism is wrong, Catholicism is right. If and Muslims do this all the time, but if Christianity is wrong, then Islam is right. Like just because you have criticized my own position in many ways, in ways that are very inconsistent with how you consider your own principles and your own arguments, like a very inconsistent argumentative methodology, then I can somehow go and actually prove my own position from refuting your position. And that sort of, it plays very well into the pluralism that we actually experience, in our society, in a society in which we live. A lot of people they're very pluralistic, and because they're pluralistic, they have an openness to a lot of different positions. Because of that fact, they often are quite indifferentist and very skeptical. So if you are able to just sow doubt into their minds about something, and they're not actually able to come and understand just in a very rigorous and systematic and conclusive way why this objection is a bad objection, then they will just deny the position. This happens all the time with Catholic converts out there. As you'll see, Catholic converts, they want somebody to go in and to exhaustively prove from like the Octa of the Council of Florence that Cantate Domino, it doesn't actually reject Vatican II's positions. And you have to go to the Octa of Vatican II, and you have to exhaustively prove, and you have to basically write a PhD dissertation for them, going through all of these issues. And if they can't actually have this objection resolved fully in their minds in a way that they can understand, then they're not actually going to accept Catholicism. And I think that this is it's a very dangerous trend when it comes to online apologetics. And I think it actually leads to a very sophistic tendency among a lot of the apologists who recognize this. And it leads to a restlessness amongst a lot of the listeners. They go from, e-apologist to e-apologist to e-apologist, video to video, tweet to tweet, article to article. And they're kind of restlessly searching through a lot of these different, people who they believe are able to give them certainty and to give them the solution to their doubts. What they don't sort of realize is that actually the principle that they have about how they should approach religion, that is what is wrong. That's like the primary issue that they're running into is they're not really approaching religion correctly in the first place. And the sort of idea that you're going to be able to, that you are smart enough and you have enough time and you have enough resources to actually go through everything and sort of figure everything out in order to make a decision about, how to best glorify God, how best to love him, how to become a saint, and how to reach heaven. It's a stupid idea. It's a very dumb idea. And it's very destructive, and it will ruin your soul, and it will send you to hell long term. Like this is something which it throws acid on the very foundations of your ability to love God. If you think about, if you think in this way. So I think it's very evil. A lot of the ways in which these sort of online apologetics endeavors